Hey guys, welcome back. Welcome to my channel. Obviously, this is going to be the second episode for basic statistics for data science, and this is what I am. I have already created a video for this. This is my introduction. You can go through it. Even you can go through all my videos which are already published, and now we are going to do some discussion in the continuation of basic statistics, right? So in our earlier video we have already seen the overall agenda. That is, we are going to learn statistical analysis, data mining with supervised learning, unsupervised learning, and then text mining, NLP, forecasting. This is going to be our broader agenda, and these are the curriculum details which I have already created a video for, right? You can all go through that video, my earlier videos, and we have already created one video for basic statistics. To begin with, we have started with the data types, right? So this was the overall agenda for basic statistics, where the discussion will be on continuous and discrete data types. These are the broader classifications of data, and in our earlier video we have seen the definitions for both the types of data, like continuous data and discrete data, and these are some of the preliminaries for the data types, right? So further to continuous and discrete data type, the preliminaries are further classified into nominal, ordinal, interval, and ratio data. So what is nominal data? Nominal data is something which are merely the labels. Like Pranav Gandhi is a label, or Sachin Tendulkar is a label. These are just the names. You cannot find out further information about these names. When it comes to ordinal data, it conveys up to the preference information, that is direction alone. Something like, I like Sachin Tendulkar more than Lara. I like Coca-Cola than Pepsi. I like maybe ABC over XYZ. So there is an order to it. So I am giving my preferences there, I am giving my direction there, but I am not quantifying the direction. When I quantify the direction, it becomes my interval data. So interval data always conveys the relative magnitude information in addition to preference. So we always say, like I like something like Sachin Tendulkar 80%, Brian Lara 20% when it comes to batting, and we divide it sort of in percentages or something like that. I like someone on the scale of 10, maybe if I want to rank something, we always rank the products on e-commerce website or the services on e-commerce website. We always rate them between intervals, and that interval is fixed interval, it never changes. If Amazon is asking me the ratings, then the start and end point for the ratings will be always same for irrespective of the product. For any product, the ratings will be same. It's not like you have to rate on the scale of 10 for maybe a laptop, and you have to rate on the scale of 5 for mobile. No, it won't be like that, right? So you will always give the ratings on a specific scales. When it's come to ratio data type, it conveys the information on an absolute scale, which means it's not only 0 and above, but it can be below 0. Right? So when it comes to absolute, means even if it is minus 37, you will take it as 37. So Kelvin is one of the best example as far as temperature measurement is concerned. So these are some of the preliminaries of data types. And why these data types are, the preliminaries of data types are important is because as the data types are changing, our operations which we can perform on the specific data type or data are also changing. If you have a nominal data, you can only do these sort of operations. If you have ordinal data, you can do these sort of operations. If you have an interval data, you do all these operations. And if you have a ratio data type, then you can do almost all statistical analysis. That is why these data types preliminaries are very, very important. So we have already seen the data. What is the meaning of data? We have seen. So what is the data? Data is nothing but information. In all formats. What are the different data types? Then we have discussed about there are two types of data. One is called as continuous and one is called as discrete. When we call a data as a continuous data, when we express any data in decimals and if it makes sense to my knowledge, then I call it a continuous data. In discrete, so all other than this is always going to be a discrete, but within discrete there are three categories. One is discrete count, two class, multi-class. And then we have seen for all this data there are some preliminaries. Which are they? Nominal, ordinal, interval, and ratio. Based on these data types and their preliminaries, there will be algorithms. So once you find out what is your data and data type, you will be in a position to decide what algorithm or what business solution I can go ahead and create. So after understanding this, let us first understand, before getting into the model building and all those higher level practices, let us first understand, after understanding the data and data types, what is random variable? What is it? So a textbook definition says a random variable describes the probabilities for an uncertain future numerical outcome of a random process. Now this is going to be a very confusing explanation of a random variable. It says a random variable describes the probabilities for an uncertain future numerical outcome. Uncertain future numerical outcome. How many coronavirus patients will be there in future? Will they be 20 lakhs? Will they be 5 million? Will they be 100 million? We don't know. That is a future numerical outcome. But of a random process, so how to define that? Probability of a random process. So if I divide this particular variable into two terms, then it actually starts to make some sort of sense to understand this entire terminology as a whole. Now there may be some of my friends who are attending this video, and they may be thinking, who are already working into IT industry or what. So random variable is a random variable. So many a times in my earlier programs, when I used to ask what is random variable, 80% of the people who have heard about this word or terminology used to say random variable is a random variable, random variable is a random thing. Some people used to say that it is a variable, so it is varying things or something like that. But to get the proper definition, I would ask you one simple question. Just think about it. If you toss a coin, how many outputs are possible? Only two. Which are them? Heads or tails. Now each time I toss a coin, I can get either head or either tail, which means the probability I would get heads or the probability I would get tails is 50%. Which is nothing but if I add these two probabilities, I will get the result 100 or 1. it tells me that the probability associated for the result of any random action I am taking for an event to occur, and if I add all those possibilities, I am going to always get 1. Something similar to, if I roll a die, I have chances of getting either 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 or 6. If I may say that what is the chance of me getting 4 as an output after rolling a die once, then the chance will be 1 by 6. What is the chance that I will get 5? It is 1 by 6. What is the chance that I will get 6? It is again 1 by 6. What is the chance I will get 1 by 6? So it is always 1 by 6. If I add all these probabilities, then I am going to get 6 by 6, which is again 100%. That is again sort of 1. 6 by 6 is 1. Which means that the probability associated with the chances as an output of any random process will be always lying between 0 and 1. And now let us understand, so this is, we have understood the probability. Now let us understand what is a variable. So if suppose I am tossing this coin, and if I want to measure this result and store it somewhere, so maybe I am having a booklet in my hand, or maybe I have created a column in an Excel sheet, and I will give the name to the label where I am storing the results of the outcomes of the tossing of coins as outcomes. And if suppose I want to make 10 trials, then each time I am going to toss the coin, I am going to get some output or outcome, and that may be, for the first instance it is head, for the second instance it is tail, for the third it is tail, again it is head, tail, tail, head, head, tail, something like that. Now these outcomes where my results are stored, that label or this phrase or this entity or this object is nothing but my random variable, because outcome, the name I have given to my column, is a variable because it is, or it can take one of the several possible values. And what are the possible values? Head and tail. And it is random because there is some chance associated with each possible value, and that is 50% and 50%. So every time I am going to toss the coin, the head and tail are going to have a chance associated with them is 50%. And I am storing all those values in the variable called outcomes, or the name or the entity called outcomes. As I am storing it within it, so I am calling it as random variable. because it can take one of the several possible values, and whatever possible values are there, all those possible values are having some chance associated with them. Something like 1 by 6, 1 by 6, 1 by 6, 1 by 6. This is the chance associated with all the 6 values. So hence, we have understood what is random variable, but then let us describe the definition of probability. So if I want to say the probability of x will be equal to number of interested events divided by total number of events. This is going to be the definition of my probability for any x. Now what is x? What is the probability associated that I will get x, that is 3, as an output? Or you can say, as y is always denoted by probability, outcomes, or y is always denoted by outcomes. So probability of y, that is me getting 3 as an output of rolling the dice, what will be the probability that me getting 3? So I am interested in only one event, that is I am interested in getting 3. But how many events possible? Whenever I roll a die, there are these 6 possibilities available. So 1 divided by 6, and that is why every number will have 1 by 6 probability associated with it. And that's how and similarly we can have this example for rolling for tossing a coin as well. Now here, head and tail are the only possibilities. Both of them are having 1 by and 1 by 2 chance, that is 50-50%. Why they are having 50-50% chance? Because number of interested events, if suppose I am interested in head, then number of interested events I am interested in is 1. And how many total number of events possible? I can get either head or tail. So there are 2 number of events possible, and that is why it is 1 by 2. And similarly it is for tail as well. Right? So that's the random variable and probability definitions for you all guys. If you have any more questions about this particular things, you can always write me into the chat window of this video. I'm going to publish this video on YouTube channel. You can also subscribe my Facebook page, and of course I am there on my LinkedIn account. So I'm going to publish this video everywhere. You have any questions, you can write me on any of these mediums, and if you want to continuously associated with more and more learnings and thoughts, then you can please subscribe my YouTube channel and press the bell icon so that all the new updated videos you will be notified with, and you will be always connected with all these new knowledge related videos and terminologies. Thank you very much for joining or listening to me or viewing this video, and please do subscribe this channel. Thank you very much. Bye bye. See you. Take care. I will see you again in the upcoming videos where we are going to discuss some of the probability applications and what is probability distribution in the next video. Bye bye. Take care.